The Zephyrian Council had ruled the Andromeda Spiral for over 3 millennia, their crystalline cities floating serenely above gas giants, while their ethereal voices harmonized across subspace frequencies. They were philosophers, artists, beings of pure thought who had transcended the crude necessities of physical warfare centuries ago. Their enemies surrendered before battle, overwhelmed by the sheer elegance of Zephyrian logic and the hypnotic beauty of their negotiation songs. That was before the night the stars went dark. Elder Vexthul floated in the observatory chamber, her translucent form shimmering with anxiety as she watched the tactical display. 17 star systems had simply vanished, not destroyed, vanished. No debris fields, no energy signatures, no final transmissions. One moment they were there, pulsing with the warm glow of inhabited worlds, and the next, they were voids of absolute darkness. Perhaps a stellar phenomenon we haven't encountered? Suggested Counselor Mordeth, his harmonic voice carrying undertones of desperate hope. A new type of dark matter incursion? Vexthul's form flickered with negative resonance. No natural phenomenon moves with such precision. Look at the pattern. She gestured to the holographic map, where the darkened systems formed a perfect spiral, each extinction occurring exactly 2.7 standard hours after the last. This is deliberate, methodical. The chamber filled with the low, mournful harmonics of their species' fear song. The Zephyrians had forgotten what it felt like to face the unknown, to encounter something beyond their comprehensive understanding of the universe. And then the sensor screamed. Not the gentle chiming that usually announced incoming vessels, but a harsh, discordant shriek that sent every Zephyrian in the chamber reeling. Something massive was approaching. No, not approaching. Materializing. Reality itself seemed to fold and tear as shapes emerged from the void between stars. They were ships, but unlike any vessel in the Zephyrian archives. Brutal, angular constructions of dark metal that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. No elegant curves or artistic flourishes, just raw, functional aggression given form. The lead vessel was enormous, easily the size of a small moon, bristling with structures that could only be weapons. By the eternal harmonies, whispered Mordeth. What are they? The answer came as a transmission burst through every communication channel simultaneously. Not the usual polite request for audience that civilized species employed, but a forceful override that bypassed their encryption like it didn't exist. The voice that emerged was harsh, guttural, lacking any of the musical qualities that defined advanced communication. It spoke in a language they'd never heard, yet their translation matrices worked frantically to decode it. This is Admiral Sarah Chen of the Human Expeditionary Fleet. You have 30 seconds to explain what you did to the colonies in the Kepler designation zones, or we demonstrate why your species should have stayed hidden in whatever hole you crawled out of. The Zephyrians recoiled as if physically struck. Humans? The primitive species from the distant Milky Way spiral? The ones still bound to physical bodies, still fighting wars with kinetic weapons? Impossible. Last they'd heard, humans were barely managing interplanetary travel. Elder, Mordeth's voice quavered with disbelief. Our last intelligence reports placed their species at technological level 0.7. They shouldn't even know we exist. Vexthul's form was cycling through rapid color changes, the Zephyrian equivalent of panic. Open a channel. Perhaps we can negotiate. 20 seconds. The countdown came from every speaker simultaneously, each word like a hammer blow against their psychic resonance. The humans weren't even bothering with standard diplomatic protocols. They were treating the mighty Zephyrian Council like common pirates. Wait! Vexthul projected her thoughts across all frequencies. We are the Zephyrian Council. We've committed no acts of aggression against your species. We don't even know what colonies you speak of. There was a pause, then something that might have been laughter, if laughter could sound so cold. Funny thing about lying to a species that spent 10,000 years learning to detect deception in our own kind. Admiral Chen's voice carried what the translation matrix identified as grim amusement. We followed your energy signatures from 17 dead systems. 17 human colonies that were harvested, stripped down to their core elements. Populations gone without a trace. The truth hit the Council like a shockwave. The darkness spreading through their territory hadn't been the Zephyrians' doing, but it had been following in their wake, using their exploration routes, their hidden pathways through space. Something had been using them as unwitting scouts. The Devourers, Vexthul breathed, her form going pale with horror. We thought they were extinct. We thought we'd contain them in the void spaces between galaxies. 10 seconds. You don't understand. Mordeth's harmonic voice cracked with desperation. We didn't know. They were using our survey routes to track your species. We're not your enemy. We're their victims too. The silence stretched for an eternity. Then Admiral Chen spoke again, and this time her voice carried something that made every Zephyrian in the chamber feel small and exposed. Then you're going to help us kill them. It wasn't a request. It wasn't a negotiation. It was a statement of fact delivered with the casual confidence of a species that had clawed its way to the stars through millennia of warfare, adaptation, and sheer bloody-minded refusal to quit. The human fleet held position as more ships materialized from their impossible faster-than-light technology. Each vessel was different, some sleek and predatory, others massive and industrial, all of them radiating the kind of lethal efficiency that came from a species that had never known peace long enough to forget how to fight. Your scans show approximately 40,000 Zephyrian vessels in this system, Admiral Chen continued conversationally. That's cute. We brought 60 million, but don't worry, we're not here for you. We're here for them. She paused, and when she spoke again, her voice carried the weight of entire civilizations. See, here's the thing about humans that your intelligence reports missed. We don't just fight wars, we perfect them. We turned warfare into an art form, then into a science, then into something approaching religion. And when something threatens our colonies, our children, our future. The display lit up as the human fleet began to move, their formation so complex and coordinated that it looked more like a single organism than individual ships. We don't negotiate. We don't retreat. We don't show mercy. The stars themselves seemed to dim in the shadow of the human armada as it prepared for war. We show up and we remind the universe why apex predators shouldn't be disturbed. And in the depths of space, something ancient and hungry felt, for the first time in eons, the cold touch of fear.